Bro, good to see you again.
Yeah.
I'll start with last night. I know we spoke about the positives and there were so many to come from it, but just on reflection, how pleased really were you with the overall performance and what came out of it?
Yeah, honestly, I couldn't have asked for anything more. Honestly, and I can be ultra critical if I want to be, and look at really real fine details. But it was difficult for me. I haven't had the chance to assess the game on analysis back yet. I managed some on the bus, but from my feeling watching it, we looked compact. We didn't look in messy at any time. We looked in good control of our defensive structure. When we had the ball, we used it really well. I thought we passed it with care and trusted each other, and we were really incisive when we ran on the attack, and the quality of the goals was really high. So honestly, I was delighted because it was a quick turnaround from the Walsall game. A lot of changes, personnel, changes shape. And sometimes you're not sure what you're going to get from the whole group. Honestly, I couldn't have been more pleased. There was nothing there I could go, we need to do this a little bit better. Listen, it weren't perfect, I know that, but nothing is, so we don't chase perfection, we just try to improve. And the way they approached it, the physical stats after the game were exceptional. So a really good night for us as a squad, I felt.
I know when we spoke afterwards, quite simply put it, round pegs, round holes, and it was injury enforced that shape. But how pleasing was it to see them actually adapt into that shape and be so effective? And now you know that is potentially a viable option for you.
Yeah, it was like the round pegs and round holes was an easy way of describing. We put players where they probably feel is their best position. I think obviously we brought Jay Ben in as a wing back, but he's a full back, so playing there. Lewis on the other side, two centre halves. The two centre midfielders are two centre midfield players. You know what I mean? I'd say Bobby's more of a winger type than Joe Adams. Joe's more of an attacking midfield player, but they both got really good feet and intelligent air movement and where they receive the ball. And we had two strikers playing as a front two, so it was reasonable, and a goalkeeper in goal, obviously. So we are oversimplifying it. We just wanted to, we had a limited amount of time to put a package together as how we wanted to perform, and we kept it simple, and the players kept the game simple in their thoughts. But it's not easy sometimes just to keep it simple, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Sometimes you can overcomplicate it, but we didn't do that. The players didn't do that, and the performance showed that. I thought it was a real clinical, professional, and real positive 3-0 win.
We've asked you since the recruitment over the summer about the competition that exists within the squad, and you've always been quite clear in the sense that you want players to fight for that place and fight for those minutes when the opportunity arises. And last night felt like an opportunity for some players that maybe haven't had the league minutes that they've wanted. Yeah. Again, to go back to that point of impressing and being pleased about what you saw last night, are you sensing that culture that you're hoping to try and build, that initiative from those that maybe aren't getting the league minutes that they want?
Yeah, and culture and environment, it takes time. We can all put a plan up at the start of the season, put some nice pictures on the walls or words and everything, but it's how you act, it's how you behave, and it's consistency in that action and behaviour. And I think we have that, but it takes time for new players and to trust what we are as a staff, what their teammates are, how we run things, and if we say something, we mean it. That's it. But you can only understand that once you follow up with actions. And the players know they had an opportunity. The players that didn't play last night, that have been playing, might be looking at the players who played last night and thinking, I've got a fight on my hands. And I think footballers are grown up with competition, and so you have to maintain that competitive nature all the time. And the players know that players can come into the team at any time and then stay in the team. It's that simple. We want to win games. We want to play in a certain way, but we want to win games. And if any player can help us win games, then we've got a great opportunity to play.
Wanted to ask you about Richie Smallwood, purely from the fact that he started every game for you. He's been an ever-present for you this season so far, and just how he's coping with that workload, seemingly okay because he keeps playing and he's playing all the minutes that he is, but just to be able to sustain that workload, and I guess a nod to his professionalism in the way that he's carrying himself at the moment.
Yeah, I think Richie's really important for us. I think he's important for me as a manager, as my captain. He's important to the team. And I think he gives us, when we make a lot of changes, I think he gives us a stability in there to have that consistency, and he knows, or I think he does know, and he's understanding more about what I require from the team. So, we need that player on that pitch to sort of take our message across in the change room as well. And I think Richie's a guy that wants to play football. That's it. He keeps his life simple. He comes in, he trains every day. He goes home and bees with his family. But when he comes in, he wants to train. If it's match day, he wants to play. I just feel he benefits from playing regular, and I think he wants to play regular. And like I say, I think he's got a real good influence on the rest of the team in loads of different ways that I don't want to explain everything. But it's not just the playing side; it's leadership. It's an example idea as well. All those sort of things, and he gives us the consistency that I want from the team. And if I can pinpoint it in one individual, I think it can spread to others. So, I think if I asked Richie if he wanted to be rested or something, I'm sure the answer would be no. So I don't ask him. I just decide that I want him in my team.
And on that point of leadership, obvious leader in the sense that he wears the captain's armband. But I know when we spoke about Vardy last night, you called upon him to show those leadership skills within the group as well. Is there a leadership group within the squad? Is that a specific thing, or do you task that individually?
Yeah, no, it's not a specific. These 4 players of this group. I think all players can show responsibility and show leadership in different ways. By example, just training the right way, behaving the right way, taking disappointment the right way, reacting the right way, all those sort of things. And I wouldn't want to pigeonhole or put that sort of emphasis just on 4 players, and just think it's them, because I think then it can take away the responsibility of other players that might see themselves outside that group, and I haven't got to be responsible because it's those guys. So I don't pinpoint anyone like that. I just think I ask everyone to act in a certain way, behave in a certain way, and we have to keep each other in check from time to time. But yeah, when I look at players like Vardy, like Alex Patterson, like Neil Byrne, people like that, Sam Walker, that have got a lot of games under their belt, a lot of experience under their belt, then come on, then bring it to the fore, bring it to the group, help the younger players like older players helped you back in the day. And and sometimes people can surprise you that way. You might just come in and say, oh, he's definitely captain, and make that mind up. And someone could come from nowhere and just show those abilities and skills. And so I'll leave that sort of environment open for people to flourish and show that sort of ability. So, but yeah, I spoke to Vardy maybe 2 weeks ago. It was after the window shut actually, and I had a conversation about the future and about his future with us. I was expecting a little bit more in not just being a player, but being a leader of the not the whole group, but use your experience. Bring some young players in. Show how they have to behave, or how we want to behave, and just be a good example for people. So I think there's many players in that group that can do that. But I was talking about last night because obviously it was a really young team. Only outfield experience really would have been Pato, Richie, and Vardy. All the other ones were really young players. So step up to it, and I think he has done. I think if you ask players something like that, I think they can respond to it in the right way. I think everyone wants to feel like they have value and they're important. So it's good to see them stepping up.
And on that front of maybe discovering leaders or naturally taking to it, have you seen that from members of the squad? Maybe ones that you wouldn't expect to be that leader from an experience standpoint.
Yeah, but in different ways. It's just on the odd day here and there, or just in the odd session or a game at half time, and you just think that's a good example, and then you can highlight it and say, look at the example he's shown. He could be 22 and maybe have 10 games under his belt or something, and then you just use that. So you don't ask them to step forward, but you use them as an example to lead the behaviour that you're expecting to see. So I think everyone's got that capability. I think everyone's in it who's a professional footballer, has played hundreds of games as a kid, growing up and all that sort of thing. So they've got experience there. So just bring it to the fore, because I believe I became a better player when I had more responsibility put on me. I just felt, and it wasn't to do with my age or anything. It was to do with, well, I'm expected to give this to somebody or to this group, so I'll deliver it. And so we try to ask those questions of all the players, but different characters have different ways of showing it, I think.
What are we now? 18 days after the transfer window shut. I didn't think I'd be asking you a question about transfers.
You're not asking about the next one, are you?
Well, only because there's been a few active EFL clubs with the free agent market.
Yes.
So just wondering whether that's a market that you're still looking to operate in. Is it on your radar at all?
Yeah, it is. Just with the recent injuries that we've picked up, so we've been kept abreast of the squad that's been training with the PFA. So I asked the club's PFA representative to keep me abreast of who's training there, any games going on, who's playing in those games, and we've had head of recruitment Stephen Gent go to a couple of those games as well, just to keep our eye on. Even when we had a fully fit squad, just to be ready if needed. And it's something we're looking at now, because obviously the injuries we've got in certain areas of the pitch, because there's good players still unattached to our field. And if we have the opportunity to bring people in now and maybe see them training with us for 2 weeks or something like that, then I think it's an opportunity we should take.
Yeah. And on that injury front then, just for the ones that we don't know the full prognosis of, Kieran Kelly, I know you said he was due to see someone this morning.
Yeah.
Has there been any clarity, or is it too soon to say?
Yeah, we're waiting for the report back from them. He has been there and he's back at the training ground now, but we're waiting for the information to come back from them. So we should get that today, because it was done early this morning. Like I said yesterday, I think Neil Byrne and Aidan Baldwin will probably be 2 to 3 weeks. And then obviously SARS we know about. So we'll probably have the same squad on Saturday that we had last night. But that's why last night gave me a lot of confidence for the weekend.
Finally from me, look, I know you very much focus on yourselves before anything else and how you're going to operate in a game. But just in terms of the test of Wimbledon, they've had a bright start to this season. And that will be a good test, won't it, at Valley Parade this Saturday? Yeah,
definitely. I think they're a good team. We saw that last season as well. And they have started well. And they're a strong outfit, well coached. And they'll be motivated to come in and put on a performance and try win the game, I would feel. But we have to overcome these challenges week in, week out. I think we've done reasonably well at Valley Parade, to be fair, in the recent form, and we have to take that on. But last night was a real good fillip for us to take into Saturday, and there is parts of last night's game that will be relevant on Saturday, as in how we want to play, but also how the opponent played. So that'll be good for us to. We've got limited analysis on our performance because it's different formation, but there's certainly stuff from last night that we can take into Saturday's game, and we're going to have to repeat and we're going to have to replicate. And it's not just a given that it happens; it's about our mindset going into it. But the players are in a good place. I just come out of lunch there, and the place is bouncing. I think these games, when we win these games, I've seen it loads of times in the last season as well. It reinvigorates the group, because it's not just the same 11 players. It brings everybody else into it, and then you've got 20 players that are all involved again. So that's why I really value this competition, is it keeps everyone ticking along nicely. And they've all come in today, certainly ones that played last night, with a spring in their step, and they're feeling good about themselves. And that's I've said it many times, that's the base level for me. Go finish a game of football and think, no, I'm a good footballer and I play for a good football team. I think that's a good place to start.
Thanks, Graham.
Okay, mate.
You say, Graham, taking it on from last night, obviously for those who weren't involved or perhaps given a rest or sort of sat back while others got a chance, they'll have seen people talk about competition and say, they want my place, they want my place, but they've seen their rival, for want of a better word, go out, play well and win, and that's the best sort of argument you can have for keeping people on the toes, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe so. I think, like I say, it's about action. It's about what they see. So I can't talk about competition and just play the same team game in, game out, every competition, and just stick with 11 favoured players or something like that. I don't see the group like that. I see there's many good players in our squad, some at different levels of their career, some in their 30s, with hundreds of games in the belt, some right at the start, but we value them all. and we think they're all good players, at different stages. So the big thing for me, we went into that game, and I was reasonably confident that the individuals would play in a certain way. It was just how they came together in a different formation. That's what pleased me most. But yeah, I think it's important that players understand competition. We talk about it all the time. We train in that way. We train in a competitive way. So it's an open market for players to go, no, I'm going to stamp my authority this week and I'm going to get in that team. So we give them that opportunity, and it's down to the players to take it. And certainly last night, the players certainly took an opportunity to showcase what they could do. So it was a real good watch, to be fair.
I was going to say, because the back four last night, I think there were 2 22-year-olds, 2 23-year-olds, so
yeah.
There wasn't a lot of games on that pitch in terms of, obviously, if you take out Richie Smallwood and a couple of the others.
No, that's it.
So, and people like Jay Ben, who's played a handful of games, Joe Adams, they sort of showed, we're worthy of being in this group and being in consideration.
Yeah, look, Joe, Bobby probably played less than 50 games. Ollie Sanderson, probably less than 50, maybe even less than 20 league games or something like that. So there was a lot of youth and inexperience, but still good quality and still motivated players, still fit players, and that's why that spine down the middle, and include Colin Doyle in that, because you're not forgetting about the old man in between the sticks. But Colin Doyle, the two centre midfielders, Pato and Richie, and Vardy down the middle of that group, gave us real good experience and leadership. But the players around them were superb. So, we've got. I feel when we recruited the squad and put it together, we had good experience, but we also had good youth, because I believe they can bounce off each other and they can help each other. It's not just about the experience given to the inexperienced players; it's the other way as well. I think they can give them a vitality and a refreshness about this sport, about this game, and that's what we saw last night. I felt, I thought there was a real vitality about our team, and a real energy, and it was great to see.
Obviously, a couple of players who weren't there, Jamie Walker and Tyler Smith. Was that just to give him a rest, or was it for?
Jamie picked up a knock in the game last week, so we're assessing him at the moment. It was just he was in a melee in the middle of the box, but he finished the game and he didn't feel anything until the day after. So we're just assessing that. And Tyler Smith's wife had a baby on Tuesday morning, I think. No, Monday morning. Sorry, apologise. And so we gave him a couple of days to spend time with his wife and his new baby, and he's back in training with us today and ready for selection.